Now, sun, sea, sand and shipping. There's more to California and the Californian coast than beaches, surfing and beautiful people. Together, Los Angeles and Long Beach make the world's 5th largest port, generating vital jobs and income for the region. Prosperity used to come at a high price, but not anymore, as Richard reports in Future Cities.
This is an industrial side to Los Angeles that few outsiders would recognize. The ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, side by side on the Californian coastline, linchpins of the city's economy.
The Port of Los Angeles is the largest container port in the United States. Combined with our neighbor, the Port of Long Beach, about 45% of all the containerized goods coming into the United States come through this port complex. We say basically 1 in 8 people in Southern California are some way related to the port in terms of their job, their employment.
At the larger port of Los Angeles, they handle more than $200 billion of cargo each year, and 90% of it, of course, comes across the Pacific from the Far East. These ships arriving from Asia are carrying a vast array of consumer goods, from furniture to clothing to electronic goods. And their arrival has an environmental impact, which the ports are now having to address.
What a lot of people don't realize is that port operations are extremely dirty. The port serving trucks, the locomotives, the ships that visit the ports on a daily basis create vast amount of pollution. Here, the ports of LA and Long Beach produce more smog-forming pollution than all 6 million cars in the Los Angeles region. And our local air quality agency has told us that communities near the ports suffer cancer risk that is 60% higher than the cancer risk experienced by others in the Los Angeles region.
We've been working on environmental programs since the 70s here at the Port of Los Angeles. But more recently, in the late 1990s, when all of a sudden scientists discovered that there was a link between health issues and diesel particulates, the exhaust from internal combustion engines that use diesel fuel like trucks, that really changed the playing field for us because we were dealing with an impact on human health.
In the firing line of local communities and the environmental lobby, litigation put a hold on the port's plans to expand its business.
We got to a point where for 7 years we were not able to approve a new development project. And a big port like the Port of Los Angeles, we can't take a 7-year break on investing in our infrastructure.
For the city of Los Angeles, the only way to grow its port was to green its port.
When I became mayor in 2005, I said, hold it. This is the engine of the Southern California economy. Of course, we got to grow our port. But I also agreed that we have to implement technologies that will improve the air quality and the environmental risks and hazards that come with operating the port. So we put together a clean air action plan that was very aggressive, a 5-year plan that I believe is the template for clean air efforts at ports around the world.
Evidence of a change is all over the port. There is shoreside electrical power for ships unloading their cargo. Using their engines, they would ordinarily put a ton of pollution into the air each day. A new hybrid tugboat patrols the harbour, and there has been major investment in renewable energy.
We're investing big in solar power in our port. You know, it's the right climate to do that. We've committed to creating 10 megawatts of power. And what we did is we put panels on our cruise terminal. We're going to put panels on everything that's flat in this port.
In the water itself, these sea lions have a much cleaner environment than their predecessors.
There is anecdotal evidence from the 1940s that recreational vessels would actually traverse into the inner harbor with the express purpose of getting their hulls cleaned, that the water was so toxic at that time that it basically killed all the barnacles and other marine life on the hulls of the ships. And now it is dramatically improved. We've been monitoring dissolved oxygen in the harbor since the 1960s. That's shown a dramatic improvement, even in the back harbor area.
Some of the port's most aggressive measures have been aimed at the 10,000 registered trucks that roll in and out of the port and then across the country.
If you came to the port a couple of years ago, it would have been easy to find trucks that are 20, 30 years old. But through the Clean Truck program, the port instituted a progressive ban of older trucks. And that progressive ban of older trucks has resulted in a reduction of 70% of all truck emissions within the port.
In the last couple of years, 3 major terminal expansion projects have been approved. It's testimony to the philosophy of green growth.
There's no question that local environmental groups want air quality to improve faster at the port. However, there's also no question that the port has really been a pioneer in sustainability. And it's the type of program that ports across the country and around the world should be looking at.
The fact is, the economies of California and the United States need the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. They play a vital role in the economy. So now in the future, it's up to both these ports to prove that they can still grow and live in harmony with the places where they're based.